Good morning, VHS. Thank you for being here this morning. It's always a pleasure to be around all you amazing people. We will be having an amazing morning with CJ, and she will be teaching us the power and magic of listening to our bodies. She says that most people are in their mind and don't even know that their bodies are trying to give them messages and wisdom. She will be demonstrating clear statements and tapping exercises. We haven't had any tapping here this year, so learn. She just graduated from a coaching program called Body Wisdom Academy, which gave her tools to add to her skills, which include reiki and metamorphosis and reflexology. BHS, please welcome CJ.
Thank you so much for inviting me to come here. I really want to start the day with us getting in our bodies. I try to do that every morning. My day goes much better. So I know you're eating, but if you feel like it, I'm going to put a song on. Feel like moving your body. It's Stevie Wonder. No? Okay, you dance in your seat. I know it's early. There you go. If you do this every morning, move your body, get the energy going, especially if you kind of stuck. Thanks for indulging me. I recently went during COVID. We all had our challenges, I'm sure, and I have lost a job, lost a career after 20 years, and went into total shutdown in, survival mode, and found this program called Body Wisdom Academy. And I was like, why not? It was one of those things where it's actually started going to a workshop with Cynthia James, and then she had all these healers there, and I met someone who said, I can help you, and I believed her, and she has, and then she said, you need to go talk to this person, and then she helped me, and then she's like, I think you need to try this Body Wisdom Academy. And the teacher, Leslie Hutter, is one of those that you meet her and you're like, I want what you have. Like, she's got this incredible strength, but also and wisdom, but also very calm and centered. And I was like, I want what she has. So I went to this program as a student, and then and it just changed my life. I was able to survive that whole time in my life. And so I decided to try to be a coach, and I just got certified. And part of that is having test clients. So I would practice on people, and then I would watch videos, hours of videos to see how they had progressed. And it's very subtle. It's called subtle body coaching because the changes that you see in yourself and other people are subtle. But I could see that people were more relaxed. They were more connected to themselves. And then the changes in their lives were incredible. Like one of my test clients, now friend, is she just her own business is her own, like, not necessarily her business, but just everything in her life has changed, and she's thriving. And she's like, I still need the tools. So I wanted to share some of the things that I learned. All right, so pass. Yeah, that'd be great. So, my goal for being here today is, I feel like I want to start a revolution of people loving their bodies and listening to their bodies. And I just feel like what would the world be like if we all really loved ourselves, loved our bodies, and trusted our bodies? I think that we could heal individually, but also collectively. So that's what I think it's really important. All right, so the first thing that my teacher taught us was a safety phrase. It gets you into your body, because I think a lot of times we're so afraid to even be in our bodies. I know, like growing up, I disassociated a lot in different situations, and then even as an adult, if something really stressful happened, I could literally feel my body like I was leaving my body. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. So to stay grounded in your body is actually the most healing thing that you can do, because your body will tell you what's, I've had situations where I'm like, that person doesn't seem right. And like my body, I'll ask my body, am I safe with this person? No. And, it's actually was true. That person wasn't safe. So, so the safety phrase is it. I'll say it, and then we can say it together if you'd like. It's body. This is a safe place to be, and I choose this. So, body. This is a safe place to be, and I choose this. And if you just take a deep breath and you feel any sensations in your body after saying that, it can be really subtle. Like I'm feeling like a little crunchiness around my chest, probably because I'm nervous. Body is a safe place to be, and I choose this. Yeah, and if there's still some heaviness in my chest, and I feel like tears might come. So then what you do is, what your body's doing is, first of all, you're saying it's a safe place to be in my body. Then the body is telling me, hey, pay attention. Like there's tightness in my chest. And and I think we get trained, at least in my family, we don't feel feelings, you just keep powering through stuff. Um, so what you're doing by telling your body it's a safe place to be is acknowledging that there might be something that needs attention. So the next thing you can do is say, so like whatever the sensation is in your body, like I would say, tightness in my chest. Thank you for being here. I love you. I am you and you are me. Please forgive me. I forgive myself. If you guys want to do that, like if you feel something in your body, you can say that together. Or it's a little awkward because everybody has a different thing. But you don't even have to say anything. So let's do that. We could say tightness in my chest or whatever yours is. Tightness in my chest. Thank you for being here. I love you. I am you and you are me. Please forgive me. I forgive myself. And for me, I feel like tears come. And so then you can keep doing it, like tears coming. Thank you for being here. I love you. I am you and you are me. Please forgive me. I forgive myself. And what I would do with the test clients is keep doing that until they were really like in their pelvis, and like really, because we're so much up here in our day-to-day lives. And so there would be like a shift after they would do some of the clearing statements, and they would really be, landed in their body. And the goal is actually to be more in your solar plexus, in your pelvis, because when you're really, I believe when we're really connected to ourselves, which is basically the heart to the pelvis, which we generally aren't in this society. We're all up here. But when you're really connected from the heart to the pelvis, then your energy can flow from, and that's where you get messages from spirit. That's what I believe. And when we're really connected to ourselves, we're connected to God, spirit, universe, whatever word works for you. And that's where the messages come in. And the real love, like maybe those tears are wanting to feel the real love and not be so busy or in my mind. I don't know. I don't even have to know what the tears are for. That's a beautiful thing. And so then also the tapping. So you probably heard a lot about tapping. We did tapping after we would be doing the clearing statements, like once somebody was really in their body. And a lot of times with people, when they're doing the clearing statement, something major would come up. Like, I just had this memory of, my boyfriend or father or mother or doing such and such. And so they would start getting, like activated, agitated. And so that's when we would do the tapping. And the tapping is pretty simple. And I know there's a lot of people that don't think it really works because there's not really scientific evidence, but I can tell you that anything that makes you get into your body works. So, for instance, if you're feeling agitated, you can say tapping, and the tapping is, there's different parts of the body, but I always started with this and just saying, even though I'm feeling really agitated, I deeply love you. Even though I really want to tell that person off, I deeply love you. I mean, I would do this at work meetings. People would say, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm tapping." Because I would do it down here. They couldn't see, but they could see my shoulders moving. And it's another way for your body to acknowledge that something's come up. And then you can definitely, there's different points here. There's here. They're all acupressure points, and there's tons of videos about tapping. And so doing those exercises would get somebody to really feel maybe something that was trapped in their body. And that's why it's called subtle body, is because, we hear a lot about trauma now, and there's the big trauma. That's not what I would feel comfortable working with because I'm not trained for that. But the subtle body trauma is, I was trying to think of an example today. So they're the little things that happen that cause you to either shut down or have some kind of memory about that. So like in 5th grade, I had this friend, a boy, Marshall Miller, I'll never forget. And it was, I was a preteen. I wasn't into like boys like that yet. And we would hang out every day. And, we would do we were just friends. Well, our classmates one day decided to have a mock wedding in the playground. And it was so horrible. I was so humiliated because I didn't see him that way. And then the teacher, she was trying to do the right thing, but then she lectured the whole class about how they shouldn't have done that. So I was humiliated on the playground. I was humiliated in the classroom. And something inside me was like, I can't be friends with boys anymore, And I'm not saying that's a major trauma, but it does affect me because at that age, 12 is a pivotal age. And I'm just had friends with this guy, and then I'm like, well, that was humiliating. And for me, one of my core things is humiliation. Here I'm up here, But this is such a nice crowd, so it's not like I'm going to get humiliated. But that causes me to shut down. And I was like, well, no wonder, and it's not like that was a big trauma, but to me, it felt like if you're 12 years old, to be humiliated about having a boy as a friend is like, that's a big trauma at that age. And now I talk about it, and like, I don't have any emotions about it. But I know that did something inside of me. My nervous system was like, it's not safe to be friends with boys. And I don't know how that's impacted me, but it's those little things. And so there could be a situation where I feel like I'm going to be humiliated. I shut down. So what I try to do is just do these exercises, breathe. Breathing is one of the tools, stay present in my body. Be like, okay, that's not 5th grade. I'm safe. It's okay to be, whatever it is. It's okay to speak up. That's another thing that has caused me, got me fired. Okay, speaking up. And so I'm just, and so I'm so terrified of speaking up for like something that is right. And it's like, well, it keeps happening. Like until it's like not a big deal, it's gonna keep happening. You have issues with a relationship and break up, the same person and a different body shows up. It's gonna keep coming up until it's healed inside of you. So when I see something wrong at work, for instance, I'm like, I need to speak up. Wait, you're gonna get fired. That's where I go to. So then I can be like, even though I'm afraid I'm gonna get fired, I deeply love and accept myself. Okay, breathe. Body, this is a safe place to be, and I choose this. Okay, that brings up, my shoulders are tight now. Tight shoulders in my body. Tight shoulders, thank you for being here. I love you. I am you, you are me. Please forgive me. I forgive myself. Okay, I can loosen up. It's like that simple. And I don't know. I know that I'm not so stressed out, and I'm much more able to handle things that come my way since doing this work. So to me, it works. Yeah, and I do this thing called Tibetan cranial with the woman who told me about this training. And so she's been through the training. So she'll be working on my neck because I have a lot of tension in my neck. I have TMJ. And so she'll start doing these clearing phrases. She doesn't do this with everybody, but since we're in the same program, and the weirdest shit will come up. Like, sorry, but the weirdest stuff will come up, and she's like, doesn't have to make sense to you. So like somebody that I'm upset at, she says, invite that. Let's say the clearing phrase about them. Like I was really upset at this friend. We'll say Mary. So she's doing this work on me, and she's like, Mary, thank you for use her as the clearing statement. I'm like, she goes, it doesn't have to make sense. So I'm like, Mary, thank you for being here. I love you. I am you, and you are me. Please forgive me. I forgive myself. And then the tears just, because I was hurt by something she did, and it brought up stuff inside, and then I was like, I'm like, that's my instant thing. Like, I want to get her back. And so by saying that, I just like could let go, and just it doesn't even make sense because obviously Mary's not in my body, but there's something in her that's reflecting something in me. It's triggering something that's in me. So by saying that, I was able to release while she's doing the work on my neck. It was so powerful. So anyway, so I also wanted to, you guys probably heard about, I'm trying to like, but it's the vagus nerve exercises. So I was doing research on watching YouTube. It's good research, don't you think? Sometimes it's like Google, you gotta be careful what information's out there. But it's another thing my teacher taught was the vagus nerve exercise, and she taught us sitting up, but you're really supposed to do it laying down. But it's really simple, and it's putting your arms like this, and then and I always thought you should turn your head, but you actually look to one side until you sigh, or and then you look to the other side and you not turn your head, but just look. And it really makes a huge difference in how you carry stress in your body. If you guys want to try that. All right, so normally you do it laying down, you can do it. So put your arms up and stretch, and then look to the right, not turn your head, just look. Like I feel like I go to sleep. And then once you feel some kind of like a sigh, or yawn. You can look the other way. Hmm. And once you're done, you can do that between meetings. You have a stressful meeting. I gotta give you 5 minutes. The other thing I wanted to teach was it's called a body pendulum. I'm sure a lot of people know about muscle testing. Um, and there's different ways of muscle testing. There's like the arm way, like a lot of chiropractors do. There's this way, like I do that sometimes, like, yeah, and like at the grocery store, I'm like, is this the right supplement? And if it's strong, well, it depends. You can ask your body what's yes. This is usually yes, and then no is like that. Body pendulum is also like you can ask your body, what's yes? And I know my yes is this way, and then no is this way. And so you can also just, because you don't, most people are going to put their arm out and do muscle testing, but you could be somewhere and say, okay, is this person safe? Or should I go to that thing? I don't really want to. And then body, no. I'm like, okay. And I think for me, like the more that I let my body know, I trust my body, um, then it's like I'm training my body that I trust my body, which seems counterintuitive, but in our society, we don't generally trust our bodies. We trust our mind. We trust other people. Okay, here's my thing. I trust other people more than I trust myself. No, I want to change that. So another thing my teacher taught me was I'm still working with her on a different program. And what would come up for me was how I was still looking for validation. I haven't trusted myself most of my life, okay, with jobs, relationships, friends, all kinds of situations. I would not trust myself. And so I would get in these situations where, people are taking advantage of me or get fired or whatever. And so my teacher would come up with these statements like, I want to know what it's like to blank, blank, blank. And that's one of the exercises that on the sheet. But so for me, she told me to say, I want to know what it's like to have discernment. That's my word of the year. And to judge by people's actions. And so, because I'm like, if somebody tells me something, I'm like, oh yeah, I believe them. And then their actions are opposite of what they say. I'm like, what just happened? Because I get really confused by mixed messages. Someone says this and then they do this. I'm like, I don't know what to believe. My nervous system cannot handle that. So my statement is, I want to know what it's like to have discernment and judge by people's actions. And it's like magical. Stuff will happen, and I'm like, wait, that person said such and such, but this is what they're doing. So I'm gonna base it on what they're doing. And then have boundaries with that and say, it's not okay that you did that. And it's really helping me to trust myself more because I was trusting everybody else but myself. And so that's basic tools that I've learned. So you can, like, if there's something in your life that you want more of, you can just be like, I want to know what it feels like to have abundance, like sell all these homes, like I'm also, because of situation, losing a job and everything, I'm in the process of selling a house in a really challenging market. And so I literally went to my house last night and buried a St. Joseph. Do you know about that? I was like, so I got to pray to St. Joseph every day. Please find the right buyer. And, you got to do what you got to do. But I want to know what it feels like to be free in my house and to live abundantly, or whatever it is. And then things start happening, right? Like for me, like not the house has been on the market for 3 weeks tomorrow, and lots of showings, but offers, and someone did say it was priced too high, and it's too, anyway, I immediately, my mind goes into, oh my God, I'm gonna have to foreclose, I'm gonna have to move back in, I'm gonna have to, because I'm renting a apartment while I sell my house. I'm gonna have to move back in, I'm gonna have to rent it out, I'm gonna have to sell it, I'm gonna have to foreclose, I mean, all like, and like, wait a minute, it's been 3 weeks. Go bury the St. Joseph, yeah. And just keep lighting a candle and pray. It just takes one person. And it might have, the price might have to lower. So I'm like, okay, but going into like fight or flight right away is not gonna be the right thing, you know? So, that's when I do all this work of like, even though I'm totally freaked out that my house isn't sold, there's been no offers. I deeply love it. And yeah, I just had to keep doing it until I get out of my mind and I'm like, all right, it's only been 3 weeks. Yeah, I want to know what it's like to be free of my house. I want to know what that feels like. So that I'm also like imagining what it feels like to sign that paper, you know? But it is a buyer's market. Like they basically say price too high, house too small. Okay. And not to take that personally, like that was my house for 20 years. Um, so this work has definitely helped lighten me up about that's a huge thing and moving too, and I would not have survived all that without this work. So what I thought we could do is there's some exercises on this, and it's a lot for like there's only 20 minutes, but what I came up with is on the back, it says, when I'm my best self, this is how I show up. And this is based on like your values. Like for me, when I'm my best self, I'm confident, I'm calm, I have a lightness of being, more humor, not so stressed out. And what is your desired outcome? Like the more you can do this stuff and tell your body, what is my desired outcome? And so a lot of us are business owners and we want, maybe X amount of new customers or clients or it's money or, whatever it is. And then what is one action I can take to reach my desired outcome? So like for me, like really getting into my body, and there just was so much going on with moving, and I realized I have not been taking care. I haven't been sleeping well. I, have not been eating that great. Definitely not exercising, and so one action I could take is to do Tai Chi. I did yesterday, and oh my gosh, just getting that chi flowing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I actually have energy, not the fake energy of coffee. And I'm proud of myself for not giving up when, for me, it was like when I did lose my job and, during COVID, that seemed like eons ago. And I think it's good for us to acknowledge and tell our body, like, how you are proud of yourself. We're so, like, in general, we're so hard on ourselves. I mean, I could tell you all the bad things I've done in my life, and if I say, what are you proud of? I can think of the negative rather than the positive. The older I get, the less I care about, and I have to say what others think. And I think that's part of this statement of discernment. I want to know what it's like to have discernment. And it doesn't mean I have to be rude to people, but like if somebody does not feel right, like I'm like, have a nice day, you can still be kind to people, but doesn't mean you have to let them into your life. And I know I want to know what it's like to um, feel confident, for me, have discernment, feel, trust myself. I want to know what it's like to trust myself. The other thing, and we don't have to demonstrate it, but prostrations in like monks do it, where if you have a statement of will, which is I want to know what it's like to, that's like a statement of will. I want to know what it's like to have discernment. I want to know what it's like to trust myself. Well, then, your old ways will come in like, oh, you don't have, you don't need to trust yourself. That person's okay. So one thing my teacher taught us is to do statements of will, that you actually, or to do prostrations, you actually have to get on the floor, and it's kind of like doing planks. And that's another, look at YouTube videos and see how monks do it. They do it for like 2 hours, where they get down on the floor and then they like pray, and then they get up and they do, it's a huge practice, but it gives them that will to do what it is that they want. So like you could have this vision, you know what you want. I do agree with visioning, but you also have to take action. And that's where the will kind of gets in the way, like, I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to exercise today. I know I want to feel better. I think I'm gonna just, sit here and watch TV. So that's crustaceans get you to really have that will to take the action you need to accomplish that desired outcome at the end. And the other thing is to write yourself a letter. So I saw this in a presentation. Write yourself a letter. I trust that you, and then write yourself a letter and then check in a year to see if that is true, like how you have changed. And then that gives you more self-trust. So, so I thought, if you guys want to get into like groups and talk about anything that came up, or if you're writing down any of the answers to this and you want to share with somebody, because we have about 10 more minutes. Or if anybody has any questions. So if you want to finish or work on the backside and then share with somebody, or not share with somebody. Trust yourself. Would anybody be interested in sharing anything that's come up? Okay, we just have a few minutes left. Would anybody like to share something that came up or?
I just want to say, CJ, I love your courage in bringing this to us, and just, it's so simple, right? Breathe, tap, talk to yourself. But I really just am happy that you brought this here today. I needed this. I was just saying I had a rough week, and it's very easy to just leave your body, go straight to fear, because when I'm in fear, I'm over here. And I saw that directly this week, so we have to remember we're all, and just thank you for your help and these useful tools. Because I already feel better. I love this group.
I want to say thank you to you for opening it up and being vulnerable, because a lot of the things that you said mirror me.
I just wanted to say that the exercise, the body exercise, leaning forward, yes, no, whatever, really works. I've used that in the past, and my body knows. Be still and know.
I like that. Be still and know. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just appreciating the sweetness that you present that with and the simplicity, and it's all truth and very digestible.
Thank you very much. And just keep trusting. Oh,
Right. No, I love this last part. This is something I can really sit and journal. This time of year, we start to do like business planning and things like that. And for me, a lot of that is writing out my vision. And that's writing, dear self, like I trust that you are happy in your new mountain. And all those things that we want, like this last section, we can sit in a coffee shop for hours and really just write out every aspect of life and where we are.
Yep.
I love that part.
cool.
Really like the group exercise because it gives the perspective on. I think the first question I saw it a certain way, and then when I talked to people,
Yeah.
perspective because I was looking at personality wise versus emotion. So I was like, I'm my best on discipline, I'm focused, goal driven, and I didn't address like I'm happy, I'm funny, I'm lighthearted, things like that. So it's a really good perspective to have a group discussion.
Awesome. And I think that that's the final point I want to make is like, hear a lot about integrity. I think if you have integrity with yourself and like that's, I guess I should have brought that up with that question, at my best when, and I think it's part of listening to your body is like, am I integrity with myself? Like, are you doing something that doesn't, we've all done stuff that's like, oh, that didn't feel good. I think that's like, it's based on your values. Like I show up best when, when you're into integrity with yourself, you're gonna show up better. So, yes, thank you guys so much for everyone. Oh, if anyone wants to meet for coffee, let me know.